Welcome back to Clark's Ring Rants. Let's get straight into today's video. Does Daniel Dubois deserve this fight with Fabio Wardley? Does he deserve an immediate shot at a world title despite coming off a devastating knockout loss? I've seen a lot of people debating it online. Some people think it's not fair. Some people think it's justified. Let's talk about it. The date today is February the 12th, 2026. And by the time this video actually comes out, it might have already been announced, but it looks very, very likely that we're going to get Fabio Wardley versus Daniel Dubois next. Fabio Wardley, in his last fight, he stopped Joseph Parker. He was behind, he was losing that fight, but he proved us all wrong once again. Whereas Daniel Dubois, in his last fight, he was stopped, he was knocked out by Oleksandr Usyk in the 5th round. So this has sparked debate. Is this an acceptable first defence for Fabio Wardley? And I think more importantly, does Daniel Dubois deserve this title shot? Because he's had chances in the past, he's maybe not performed on some occasions, but then on other occasions he's gone above and beyond expectations. So where do we stand with Daniel Dubois? Is he a worthy contender for Fabio Wardley in this fight? Now, if we look at this purely from a stylistic matchup point of view, yes, 100%. I love this fight. I've called for it before, and it's a really, really intriguing fight. For me, I see this being a shootout between two aggressive, big punching British heavyweights, and I think it could be a case of whoever lands first. Daniel Dubois has been in there with big punchers before. He's been in with Anthony Joshua. He didn't really get hit that much, but when he did, it didn't seem to bother him. Whereas for Fabio Wardley, Daniel Dubois would be far and away the biggest and most prolific puncher he's been in there with. And I've got no doubts if this fight does happen, Daniel Dubois is going to land on Fabio Wardley at some stage. He's not going to have to go looking for him. He's going to hit him. And then the question for me is, how will Fabio Wardley's chin hold up to Daniel Dubois' power? Because he's never going to have been hit like that before. It's going to be interesting to see. He's been in there with Parker. He's been in there with Hooney. He's been in there with Fraser Clark. But none of them punch like Dubois does. But if I put my bias and desires aside, is Daniel Dubois the most worthy opponent for Fabio Wardley? If we look at the WBO rankings here, obviously we've got Fabio Wardley, he's a WBO heavyweight champion of the world. Moses Italma is ranked at number 1. That fight's not going to happen at the moment for obvious reasons. They're both with Ben Davison, and I think Frank Warren might want to shelf that fight for a bit further down the line. I don't think Moses Italma is ready, and there's not really any need for him to jump in there with Fabio now. Mike Tyson's record's gone. Just keep having those learning fights, and he's got to get past Jermaine Franklin next month anyway. At number 2, we've got Filip Hrgović. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, Daniel Dubois did beat Filip Hrgović 2 years ago, but since then, Hrgović has bounced back well. He's beaten Joe Joyce, he's beaten David Adelaide, he's had 2 good, solid wins on there. He's ranked at number 2. I think that would be an acceptable opponent. Hrgović is durable, he's aggressive, he comes to fight, and he's got some pretty good boxing fundamentals. I could see him causing Fabio Wardley issues just off his boxing skills, but he is very hittable. Fabio Wardley may get to him, but he's got a tremendous chin, Hrgović. I actually think that'd be a really, really interesting fight. Then at number 3, we've got Zhilei Zhang. He's also coming off a stoppage defeat. He's been inactive for over a year. I wouldn't really be happy with that as an opponent for Fabio Wardley. For the same reasons, I guess people aren't happy with Dubois. They're both coming off stoppage defeats in their last fight. It's not really fair for them to be thrown in for a voluntary defence for a champion. But at the end of the day, they are highly ranked in the sanctioning body. Now, for me, if we're going on merit, the obvious opponent would be Agit Kabayel. Kabayel's not ranked in the top 15 of the WBO as he is WBC interim champion, but I'm sure that Frank Warren has more than enough pull and persuasion with the WBO to get Kabayel instated there, or even just get that for a voluntary. Stranger things have happened, weirder rankings have happened. Kabayel could be inserted there, and the fight could be made if they really wanted to. But I think based off Kabayel's last fight in Germany, they've seen there's a gap in the market there. Kabayel can be promoted well. He's got good backing in Germany. I think he's going to have a few more gimmick fights there, and then they're going to set him up for a title fight. So that's off the table. So if we're just going off those 4 names I previously mentioned, I think Hrgović is the most suitable candidate given his recent form. Yes, Daniel Dubois is a former world champion. Yes, he's got some great wins on his resume. But does he truly deserve this fight? He's already had a lot of chances in his career. I just don't think it's good for the sport if we just keep recycling the same fighters to fight for the same belts over and over again. Get Hrgovic in there. He's not had a crack at it yet. And maybe he'll win. Who knows? But we can't just keep having the same fighters over and over again, because it can get very boring very quickly. If Daniel Dubois did get this shot at Fabio Wardley, that would mean he had Usyk in the first fight, he had the Joshua fight for the world title, he had another shot at Undisputed with Usyk, and then he's getting this opportunity again. So that would be 4 cracks at the whip for Daniel Dubois, when you've got a queue of contenders that is a mile long still waiting for their heavyweight world title shot. But those are just my thoughts, and what do I know? I'm keen to hear what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. Does Daniel Dubois deserve an immediate crack at a world heavyweight title after coming off a knockout defeat in his last fight? Don't forget to like this video, share, and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.